shooting into a live broadcast today on the topic of how programmed you are and how to unprogram yourself. The reason why we're going to be doing this is I have Marczell here as a guest. And what you've been seeing so far is the first two lives that we've done. This is the third in the trilogy, so probably be the last one that we're doing together for a while, so make sure that you pay close attention to every single thing that you see here. We're actually headed out to a white party after this. That's why we're both dressed in white. You are a little bit nicer to the host than me. I'm going to wear black pants out there, but...
this was per your suggestion, though.
I know, but I don't have any white pants. So we're going to be heading out to a party, a really sick one right after this. You'll probably see that on our Instagram stories, but in the meantime, what we're going to be doing on the way out is shooting into a video about why you are programmed and how to unprogram yourself. Now, the reason why this is important is within the context of endless motivation. And the idea of endless motivation is that you may have different desires in social skills. You want to make better friends. You want to date better people, have a more vigorous and exciting and novel dating life. You'd like to get a better romantic partner. You would like to network with better people or more people or people to your liking. Maybe you want to get a promotion at work. Maybe you want to make more money. Maybe you want to build a business. Maybe you want to get a better situation with where you work. Maybe you want to do a charity. Maybe you want to get more spiritually tapped in. Maybe you want to travel, whatever it is. We can show you every single thing, but ultimately, if you don't go put in the work, what's going to wind up happening is none of this stuff happens. And so these things tend to be very, very easy. Like getting good social results is wildly easy when you have a high sense of willpower and you can just get yourself to do it easily. It is a joke to go out to a bar club, meet everybody there, meet all the best people, and run off an adventure that night and have lots of people to follow up with. That is a joke. That is a joke. But if you can't get yourself to do it, it's hard. That's why we have endless motivation. Likewise, making a lot of money when you have the will to do it is a joke. It's a joke when you have the will to do it. But if you don't have all you have to do is read a couple things on marketing, which I teach you here. You see us doing a little bit of marketing here. We teach you marketing all the time inside of our courses and in these videos. You see us teaching you social skills. We've shown you examples of it. You've watched me build an 8-figure business. Marczell watched me build it, and he went and built a massive business almost overnight. It's a joke if you have the will to do it. But if you don't have the will to do it, if you can't make yourself do it, it's pointless. So today's theme is on the topic of endless motivation and how you're hypnotized, how you're programmed, and how to unprogram yourself. Now, if you like this session and you want to learn more, that website right there, www.endlessmotivationblueprint.com, that one right there is going to be me. There's an entire course curriculum in there, so it's my newest course. But in addition to that being my newest course, as a bonus, I've been doing some weekly calls, and these are on Zoom where you get to interact with me personally. Well, this Sunday, as a bonus, it's not going to be just me. It's going to be me and Marczell tag teaming it the same way that we're tag teaming this video, and we're going to be interacting directly with you. So if you want to meet me personally and you want some direct feedback from me, and if you want to meet Marczell personally and you want some direct feedback from Marczell, click that link now, www.endlessmotivation.com, and what will wind up happening, right down there, and what's going to wind up happening is we're going to be talking, and you'll have immediate access to the course curriculum. You'll be talking to us this Sunday. Now, if for some reason you're seeing this after Sunday, the replay will be posted. It'll be really, really good, but my preference would be for you to get in this link now. So while it's hot on your mind, click it here right now, and start going through the course, and then we'll be talking to you on Sunday. Okay, so endlessmotivationblueprint.com, click it, get in, and let's shoot into today's lesson. So what I've done is I asked Marczell to give a bunch of links to different videos showing how much you're likely getting programmed. And these are meant to be a little bit cartoon-like and a little bit off the wall, both because they're entertaining, but also because it's going to show you a lot about how you're programmed. So for example, if you're happy, if you're sad, you're saying, oh, this is legitimate. And I'm sure in many cases it's legitimate, but in a lot of cases, you've just programmed your own mind. You've hypnotized yourself into being happy or sad. If you're lazy and you can't get motivated, you can't find the ability to focus, a lot of that is your programming. And so Marczell is somebody who, it's been really a lot of fun for me to meet him. If you haven't seen the last two videos, Marczell is somebody who I met when he was around 19, already hyper-motivated, already building something big. And then we started hanging out, and he went on to become a self-made millionaire. Him and I go out to parties and clubs and things like that here in LA. We go out and we kick it and we have a lot of fun. Leave it at that. You can use your imagination, all the adventures that we have. And you know, aside from all those OG adventures, and aside from, you know, different fun things that we've done, Marczell's been at a lot of my free tours, and he's been a huge hit with the crowds there. Marczell has just built incredible success, and I've watched him do this at such a young age, and people are shocked by it. And what I would attribute this to, really, is just the ability to program his own mind. So his ability to program his mind is a countervailing force against society's programming, which is negative programming. So in this live today, we're going to try to get very specific about the negative programming that you have, which is leeching off of your will, and show you some kind of cartoon-like examples just to captivate your imagination.
Yeah, so first of all, thanks for having me on, Owen. Owen's one of my biggest mentors in my whole life, and he's the reason I am where I am. And I can tell you this. Today I'm going to show you literally hypnotic phenomena. Now, the reason I'm going to show you hypnotic phenomena, because I'm literally the best hypnotist in the world, I'm going to show you me hypnotizing people. I'm going to show you what's happening, and then I'm going to relate it to your life. And I'm going to explain to you how the problems you're dealing with are not actually problems, but instead trance states that prevent you from seeing the solution. So if you've ever felt stuck...
Can I jump in?
Yeah.
Catch what he said there. Your problem is not your problem. Your problem is a trance state that is preventing you from seeing the solution. We're not trying to minimize, you know, if you have like stage 4 terminal cancer and are about to die in 1 minute, we're not trying to minimize that as being a trance state. But for 99.9 out of 100 people watching this, okay, that's not you. And so it's more the trance state that you're in preventing you from seeing the solution, is what he's trying to show.
Even if that is you, we're all going to die, and would you rather be miserable, or would you at least want to enjoy the last few days or moments of your life happy? And that's the point. The point is that you're in control of your mind. You don't have to feel certain emotions. You don't have to experience certain things unless it's in your head. So if you can't control your mind, you can't re-hypnotize yourself, you're pretty much screwed. So I want to show you really quick. I mean, we'll pull up the first video just so you guys get an idea of who I am. So this is a video, I mean, it's a compilation of me hypnotizing a bunch of different people, influencers. And once it's playing, just let me know. So I can kind of narrate this for you.
Wow.
There we go.
Absolutely.
So
Sleep.
You'll see me here.
Sleep, sleep, sleep.
In a moment, you're going to find I'm going to hand you a water bottle. Every time you try to drink out of it, you can't. Your hands just shake and it gets all over your face. Okay, pause it. Tiffany, drink that. Okay, so what you saw there is you saw me doing something very simple, right? You're going to drink a water bottle. It's going to get all over you. And a simple thing like moving a water bottle, now they don't really have control over their arm. Their unconscious is telling them, nope, you can't get it in your mouth, and it's done. Like they just can't control it. Now, you might be like, okay, well, they're playing along. Well, okay, fine. For those of you who are skeptical and thinking maybe that's playing along, even the best actors or actresses in the world, and by the way, if you don't know who these people are, that's Sam and Colby. They were just on Joe Rogan's podcast. They're some of the biggest YouTubers on the planet. Hypnotized him 4 years ago. And you'll see me here hypnotize him to cry when he loses. Here, he's like the world's strongest man, but he loses in arm wrestling because I hypnotize him to be weak. And every time he cries, or every time he loses, he cries. So you'll see how fast he cries, and then I want to relate that back to your life. So if you could just play that for a moment.
When you lose, you're going to cry.
Look at how fast his state went negative. Look at this. Look at this. He's literally crying.
Funny, guys.
And then look
Another
at,
person I'm
okay,
touching,
pause
you
it.
find you
So-
become the world's first pregnant.
So the most viral video on my YouTube channel is actually a short of that, and that's got 3 million something views. And you could see me uncutting it. There's no cuts. I hypnotized him to cry, and then I said, and now it's the best day of your life. And he instantly, not even a millisecond goes by, from the second I snap to where he's happy.
Also, can I jump in here too?
Yeah.
Guys, if you're, I came up in 2002 when I started teaching, okay? And actually, you may not know this, but the thing that was trendy in the community back then was NLP and hypnosis. And I was the person, this is ironic, I was the person that was like, guys, let's maybe focus. At the time, I had met Mystery, and I was like, let's go do what Mystery shows, which was kind of like prepared stories, which I thought was a little bit more natural than, you know, NLP and hypnosis. And then later, I even got away from that, and I went completely natural. And if you know my social skills that I built, if you've ever seen videos that I've shown, like how to approach and meet people by being silent and not even talking at all, I'm to the point now where I can go meet somebody without even talking at all and get the exact same kind of chemistry with that person as if I'm doing things. Okay, so like you come out with me and I can go meet people and not even talk at all, and it will look like I'm holding an entire conversation. So I did that because I literally dialed in and practiced what you call subcommunication so thoroughly that even the subcommunication just in my eyes and body language can carry an interaction without even talking. So you can see me, so let's look at the hilarity of this. I go from you know, hearing about hypnosis NLP.
Right?
Yeah, like hypnosis NLP. Then I hear from Mystery about, you know, preparing stories, and then I'm like, okay, that's more natural. Then I get to like more natural conversation, if you ever saw the old Blueprint program. Then I get to the point now where I don't even need to talk at all, from raw sub-communication, just bare bones eye contact and bare bones body language, I could create the same response. So then I see Marczell when he's 19 and he's doing hypnosis, right? I'm like, okay, like he seems really smart. Let's go, you know, I'll go help him to show him the proper way, but let's go check out his videos. So I go and I look at his videos online, and they're really, really mind-blowing. Kind of what you saw here. Like, I realize that you see a lot of things on YouTube, or you probably look at me and Marczell like these cartoon characters that are not real humans. Guys, like, we're real humans. We're just like you. Okay, we're just like you. We're regular humans. The things that we do, you can do. This is not you watching things that you can't do. You could do this. So anything that you see online, you know, barring that it's like a, you know, 6'7" NBA basketball player doing a dunk, anything that's using your mind that you see online, usually you can go and do that. I mean, unless it's some advanced feat of advanced physics or something, you could pretty much do any regular thing. So I'm watching Marczell doing this in his videos, and I'm like, this is freaking crazy. So I wanted to meet you and see this in real life to see if it was legit. And I was thinking like maybe these were like the highlights. And Marczell can do this again and again and again and again. So look at that guy. Like, go back to that guy crying for a second. Look at the trance state and what this says about trance states, okay? Actually go and have a look at this. Like, actually pause and look at what's happening. Like, he loses an arm wrestling match and he's crying. Can you get to that, or is it going to take you a minute to get? Arm wrestling match, okay? And he's crying. So just, can they hear me? Okay, look at what he's actually doing here, okay? Do you see him crying?
This is real. Pause it. You know how it's real if you want to actually read body language. Look at the side of his mouth. You could see literally the stress of the neck. Crying is a pain thing. Pain is fear. So whenever you're scared, what do? Your neck comes out. You're covering the arteries by your neck, right? So you could literally see him straining that. Yeah, right there. Highlight it. Right there. You'll see those like that part of the muscle flexing. That's not a fake cry. Go ahead and do it. Just play it. You'll literally see it. Look. Like there it was. But it's subtle. Obviously, if your sensory acuity is not as high, it's not very.
Yeah. I mean, okay. So the thing is, you're going to see more examples today, but the connection that we're trying to make in your brain is, if that guy just got hypnotized, he lost the arm wrestling match and he started crying, that's a state that he's been put in. Well, what we're trying to get across to you is, are you doing that to yourself? Like, to what extent are you doing that to yourself?
Or did your parents or your friends or your family, or did the culture, the religion you came from, did that do it to you? Right? And here's what's mind-boggling to me. Is there's people here saying not everyone can get hypnotized. I'm the best hypnotist in the world. Everyone can be hypnotized. And I mean, a study came out saying if you're schizophrenic, you can't be hypnotized. I've never tried. So until I try, I'm not going to believe it. Because most hypnotists suck. Even the ones that are the best, they suck. Let me see them go up on the street and hypnotize some random person. I've been doing this for years. I've hypnotized tens of thousands of people who literally are skeptical, people who've never even heard the word hypnosis. I never even introduced the concept, and I still am able to hypnotize them, right? So
in the same way that if you met me on the street and I felt inclined and you're like, there's that person there, go meet them and let's get it poppin', I can do that on command because I've done that for years and years and years because I go out, 4 or 5 hours a day. Marczell's like that with hypnosis, okay? He could do it anytime, anywhere. He's the man. But that said, this is not alive to convince you on hypnosis. We don't care, okay? We're not here to hypnotize you. We did a cool little exercise of that last week. We're not here to do that. We don't care if you like that or not. All that we're trying to get through to you is not formal hypnosis. We're trying to get through to you that you're hypnotizing yourself. Okay? Like, that's what we're trying to get through to you. It's like, when you see that guy crying in the video, you are doing this to yourself. We're trying to show you something extreme here to make the connection for you to see how much you're brainwashing yourself.
It's so easy to do. It's actually one of the easiest phenomena to create. Like, actors, some famous actors and actresses come to me, like people everyone here knows, have come to me to make it easier for them to cry or to feel these states, and it takes me maybe 1 minute. They're like, that's all? What the hell? How is it so fast? Like, because it doesn't take that long. So like, if you watch something, and this is what's crazy, for those of you sitting on your phone like watching this, do you know why Joe Biden might now ban TikTok? Because you just watching a 1 minute video, it's not just the data leaks, it's the brainwashing. If you talked about this in China, what's TikTok look like for?
So apparently in China, TikTok is educational videos with pauses in between the stimulus,
Like
well, I don't remember if they said long form or not, but I wouldn't be surprised.
It's the same effect. It's not like next. It's,
Correct.
It's attention span. I mean, the average attention span over a century ago, was 54 minutes. Today, it's 7 seconds. That's disgusting.
Yeah, but guys, again, don't worry about whether you are into being hypnotized. That's not the point today, because I think some people are going to be like, we're going to divert what we're trying to communicate to you to that. What we're trying to show you is how much you're effing yourself. Okay, because you don't know how to control your mind. You're effing yourself. So when you see that guy crying, well, when's the last time that you got depressed about something? Look how dumb and fake the crying look. I mean, he's really crying, but how dumb and fake it looks, like he's crying over nothing because he had a suggestion implanted into his mind to cry. You are doing that to yourself when you get distracted. You are doing that to yourself when you get depressed. You are doing that to yourself when you're in a non-resourceful state. So the point of showing you this stuff about hypnosis, this is not a video about hypnosis, but rather it's a video just using hypnosis as an extreme example to show you how you're effing yourself in so many different ways. That's what we're trying to get through to you.
I mean, let's be specific to explain to you why this would be beneficial to you, for those of you who are interested in social skills. First time I've ever seen this, and I'll just be very, very bland with the way I speak. I had a friend with no social skills, never socialized with anyone practically, never, ever. And then a hypnotist hypnotizes him. 5 minutes later, he's dating someone.
The thing is this, though, the reason that I want to hammer just these points is because sadly, 99% of these people won't go to your channel and see everything. They won't. So the people on your channel have had time to get their head around it, whereas they're not going to acclimate to that in 5 minutes. But what they can acclimate to, because they're just not going to, but what they can acclimate to is that they're brainwashing themselves. I want to keep us in that box. Fine. Yeah, that's up to you guys if you want to go to his channel to begin to see things.
Either way,
that's up to you.
If you want to be enlightened in general, I mean, really pay attention and maybe take down the wall of ignorance where you think you know everything, or you're not going to.
That's hard, though.
Yeah, it is hard. But
they believe that the other people have the wall of ignorance that they don't. So within your paradigm of what you've been educated on, look at how you're brainwashing yourself. That's what we're trying to get through to you.
Yeah, so let's pull up the next video, and let me just show you. So, you use this word cognitive dissonance. I love that word. There's a lot of cognitive dissonance to how people see their life. So you maybe are going through something horrible, or you actually have the problem that you don't think you have, and you're just not going to be aware of it. Totally hypocritical, totally unaware that you are literally the reason this is happening. Now, this happens because the brain decides to disassociate from certain pain points, certain problems in your life. So I can replicate that exact thing here. For those of you who are skeptical, here's a really cool example. And this girl puts a sewing needle through her hand.
I'm gonna help you out.
And
Now,
doesn't
I want
feel
you
it.
to
So,
go ahead and put the needle through
obviously a warning for those of you who are a bit
there. Just notice how
sensitive
numb
to
your
this.
hand feels.
She literally feels nothing there.
Notice how numb.
And she's putting a needle through her damn hand. Would you volunteer to put a needle through your hand?
No.
Put it all the way through.
I mean, look, it's not even going smooth. Like, it's not even smooth. Like, she's pushing
Is it not sharp? Yeah, there it is. See? Perfect.
Like, you'd assume that's
By the way, so did they say this is a real person? I mean, she has her own Instagram, right? This is.
Yeah, she's got 1 million followers on TikTok. Yeah.
Yeah,
Look at this.
guys,
Look, she's using her phone to push it through.
Guys, this is a real person.
now
This
we're
is a
doing
friend
this.
of ours. What's her TikTok?
Look
So
at
they
how
can
gnarly
make a
that is.
reference.
Do you feel anything
Kristen
even?
Farina.
How do you spell that?
Kristen, K-R-I-S-T-E-N, Farina,
I'm, like, freaking out.
F-A-R-I-N-A.
They can hear
I'm
this.
not even freaking out about this.
Okay, so
I'm
this is a
freaking
friend of
out
ours.
that
You
I
can look
just
her up.
did that.
Yeah.
Or so what the?
Yeah, look, she's like looking at her hand. There's a fucking needle in her hand.
Slowly pull it out, okay?
And there's no
go
blood.
ahead and
Just
pull
look
that
at
out.
this. Look at how disassociated the body is. It doesn't even bleed. I'm to bring up some medical facts just so they understand how powerful this can be. Like, if your mind.
Look at that. No blood.
Here on this place.
Literally
you're
no
not
blood
allowed to
whatsoever.
bring that up.
No, not those facts.
No,
Isn't that crazy?
It doesn't
is-
matter.
Oh.
No, all there is just whatever your doctor told you. There's nothing else. There's nothing else in the world than that. Do whatever Big Pharma tells you and Big Daddy tells you. There's no other things than that. It's just nothing. Just hide. There's nothing you can do. Bow down and bend over. Okay, so let's keep going.
Yeah, I mean, so that's an example.
Because end of the day, those who know, and those who don't know don't want to know. They're determined not to know. They're spiritually enslaved. And so if that's the case, nothing that we say will help them. And why create headaches for us, for people who don't care anyway? Like, you either know or you don't. So that's the end of the day.
Well, so I'll tell you a funny story that relates to this. So I remember I was personally struggling, like financially, and I'm going about my day, working my ass off, and I'm barely making like $1,000 a week. Like that's my best week. Maybe $500 to $1,000 a week. I don't even remember. And then I hang out with you, and I just see a completely different reality. Shattered my reality. I mean, I'm seeing money leave and come in like it's just it's not like it grows on trees, because trees grow slowly. Like it's coming out of like thin air. Like you're just like poof, money. And it changed my paradigm. And I realized, look at how blind I was. All this shit was in front of me. You existed, Tony Robbins existed, all these other people existed that make a shit ton of money. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I was totally blind that I could do it too.
But you were also willing to hear it, right? So some people...
But I wasn't until I saw it.
Until you saw it,
I had to see it right there. I had to be able to touch it. Because to me, it's like, oh, this is fake, this is fake. I was rationalizing it.
Yes.
So I was doing what she's doing with her hand. Like, oh, that's not my hand. That's like she knows it's her hand. She could see it. It impresses her, but she's disassociating. So I was disassociating from what I was actually capable of. And I think that a lot of you are not motivated because you're disassociating from what you're actually capable of achieving. Like, if you knew you could do anything, like you knew you could make $1 million a month, $2 million a month, some of you making more probably, right? And you could really crush it in every area, socially, in your health, would you do it? Of course you would. You would not hesitate. You'd get up and you would do it, but you procrastinate, or you sit there and you pout and you're upset, or you just do other shit because you don't believe in it.
Yeah, and so the main idea there is that you're watching as a needle is being pushed through somebody's hand, and you're seeing how messed up perception is. So like, again, our goal here is not to hypnotize you. Our goal here is to make you realize how malleable your mind is, and to show you how to begin to take control of your own mind. So when you're seeing somebody crying because they lost in an arm wrestling match, or they're able to shove a needle through their skin and then pull it out and then it seals itself up, well, that should begin to tell you how malleable your mind is. Now, we talked about this idea of endless motivation. If you just jumped on, the time to talk to me and Marczell will be coming up this Sunday. That right there, endlessmotivationblueprint.com, or if you see this link right down here, www.endlessmotivationblueprint.com. As soon as you log in there, what's going to wind up happening is you're going to start going through the course curriculum. And then as a bonus this Sunday, Marczell and I will be doing a bonus session, and you're going to get to interact with both of us personally, ask questions, and we're going to be talking to you in person, which is a great bonus for jumping in right now. So my strongest suggestion to you is that if you see the opportunity that's right in front of you now, click that link and just hop in there, and we'll see you inside of Endless Motivation, okay? www.endlessmotivationblueprint.com. What would you say would be the next cool video to go into to show weird examples of this stuff?
So this is the first time it's ever been done with hypnosis. It's the first time I was even ever filming myself hypnotizing people on the street. And I hypnotized some random basketball player here to not miss. So before, I mean, we're not gonna play the whole video. Before, I have him shoot 10 threes. And he makes 7 out of 10. The most he made in a row was 3. Then I hypnotized him to not miss. And I was doing it with full confidence. I had no idea if it would work. Never been done before. It's never been done by any other hypnotist. Never been done by anyone. So I hypnotized him not to miss. And this is a part of me hypnotizing him. Just, I asked him if he's down for it. He said he's down for it. And then pretty much what you end up seeing after that is
automatically finds its natural.
Crazy shit. So, I mean, you can fast forward. It's me just hypnotizing him. You can just fast forward to, even right there. So here he is. You'll see him miss. Oh, he made it. There we go. Okay. So just count in a row. How many threes would you say is impressive? So far, he's at 2. How many would you say is impressive?
I don't really have a context, but it sounds like he just had this.
So he just missed. So now he starts. I think he's going to miss one more time, and then he's not going to miss anymore. He's going to be in state. So he's going to change direction. He's going to change his spot. Let's see if he misses. Yeah. So now he's going to change his spot, and then you're going to see the suggestion just land right there. So he misses one last time, and then he doesn't miss anymore. I mean, you don't play basketball, do you?
Not really. Like, I mess around.
All right, so, I mean, someone's like 500. It's funny. I mean, I personally have videos of me doing this, and I make, 25, 26 shots in a row, but this is my sport, right? So, but as a basketball player, speaking on basketball, it's uncommon for someone who made 3 in a row previously and has been playing all day, who's tired, to then go make what he made in a row, which I think was 15 or 16 in a row. And the only reason he started to miss off of 15, 20 seconds of hypnosis was because someone distracted him and took him out of state. So now he's in the zone, he's in state, but imagine practicing this state. Imagine getting hypnotized for this consistently over the course of a few months. How quickly could he just turn this on to where he doesn't miss? And that to me is what's impressive. Like, you're able to turn on your flow state to where you're always in state. I remember the first time I saw you, my 10 out of 10 state was your 5 out of 10. And it just showed me what was possible. I mean, he just doesn't miss until I think 16 from there. He ended up actually getting a college scholarship after this because they saw him playing and he said he'd like increased his average shots like 15, 20 points. So
Yeah. By the way, Shamari, come to one of our events. Let us know what city that you're based out of and come meet up in person. We'd love to see what you could do too. So, okay. The main takeaway there would be how when you get your mind engaged, it increases accuracy. So in other words, when I go out to a club, okay, I've got to know exactly where the sweet spot is to get in the zone and to do exactly what it is that I want to do. Likewise, I do a lot of improvisational public speaking. So typical event for me is a couple hundred people, but sometimes my events have had as high as around 1,000 people. And I've also done guest events at several thousand people. Now, one thing that I made a commitment to doing many years ago was a lot of improvisational speaking. So at my paid events or even programs like Endless Motivation, I have a pre-planned curriculum, but I do a ton of improvisational speaking. And the way that I'm doing it is I know how to lock my mind into a very, very, very specific zone. Okay, I know how to get it exactly where I want it. And basically what's happening is if you're seeing me on stage, it appears that I have this insane amount of energy. And this is kind of part of the shtick, right? So in the same way that if you went to see a magician, they would have a kind of shtick that they use to wow you. Or in the same way that if you go see, any performer, there's a certain shtick that they have to wow you, right? There's something interesting that they're doing. The thing that I'm doing that's kind of interesting, if you ever come to one of my events, and Marczell also does the exact same thing, is I seem to have this endless motivation. I seem to have this endless energy. And it's this really weird vibe when you see it. I'd actually recommend that you get out to a proper event. I'd really, really recommend that you do. In fact, we have a series of free events all over the world that's coming up. The next one's Orlando, Miami, Los Angeles. But we're going to wind up having them in, and you can actually click the link below for www.selfhelpfreetour.com. Okay, www.selfhelpfreetour.com. I'm going to put a link below in the comments if you're seeing the rebroadcast, and there's a link right now. If you want to get to one of the free events, we're going to be doing a huge amount of Europe. Julian's going to be covering that, a huge amount of Europe all through June. But you're also going to see me in New York, Philadelphia, Boston, DC, Seattle, San Francisco, Chicago, San Diego, LA we mentioned. We're going to do Houston, Austin, Dallas. We're going to be doing, I can't remember all the cities, but we're going to be doing a ton of cities coming up. Yeah, and Europe is going to be massive. That's going to be this June. Julian's going to be covering that. Click the link, www.selfhelpfreetour.com, and we'll come meet you in person. And by the way, we are as accessible as it gets, okay? We're very, very easy to come and talk to. Like, if you want to meet us in person, come out to a free event, and you can come and hang out with us in person. And we don't just hide up on the stage. Like, we get in the crowd. We often at a free tour hang out with people at the free tour. We're sitting there answering questions in the hallway. We're very, very, very accessible, okay? And the best way to access us right now, by the way, if you're just getting on this, is Endless Motivation. www.endlessmotivationblueprint.com. So actually, if you click this link below, www.endlessmotivationblueprint.com, okay, the one that we have listed right there, we will actually be doing a conversation with you this very weekend coming up. It's going to be a lot of fun. So if you enjoy the material that you're seeing here, we're going to be teaching really, really deep stuff on Endless Motivation about how to make more money, how to get better social skills, how to get more tapped in. And that's really what I'm talking to you about here. So click that link right now while you're thinking of it. So when you're seeing me have this shtick of endless motivation, it's kind of a shtick that I have, right? That's actually why endless motivation has been very successful for us. And the reason why that is, I think when a lot of people who have met me, whether it's at events or things like that, they're like, well, how are you like that? And there's a number of different ways that I'm like that. But the one that Marczell is referring to here, the key that he's referring to here, there's a number of different keys, which we'll be talking about in the course curriculum, is the fact that I know how to put my brain in the exact zone that I need to be in. And so what that means that there's very, very little energy leak. There's very, very little energy leak. So when you're not watching this, and even if you look at the comments down here, okay, if you look at the comments down here, look at how much energy is being leaked, okay? So it's weird, but when I read the comments, most of what my brain tells me is I'm just like, energy leakage, energy leakage, energy leakage, energy leakage. Like when I go in the venue to go socialize, all that I'm thinking is how I'm gonna go talk to every single person there. I'm going to have the most fun of anybody there. I'm going to meet the most attractive people there. I'm going to do a cool after party, and everybody who I'm hoping will come back, hopefully will want to come on that invitation. That's what I'm looking for, okay? That's it. Nothing else. I'm not thinking who's like this or like that and what did this person say or that say. All of that is noise that has horse blinders on. When I'm in an event, I'm not even thinking at all. I'm completely present and just letting it come to me via a trance state. So that is one of the keys in endless motivation, and I'll talk about many other keys inside of it, and I'll show you how to do this. What Marczell is talking about here is how he's getting somebody to shoot those amazing baskets. Now, a big part of that is when you're shooting a basket, you're going to have, and I'm not great at basketball, but I know the same principle because I've watched a lot of basketball. And what's happening is your mind might have mental noise. So even as you're shooting, you might be doubting yourself. You might be questioning yourself. And what you need to do is to know how to shut off that mental noise and put yourself into the right state so that all of your resources are going where you need them to go, right? So in many ways, for me, learning success socially, when I talk about things like going from doing a lot of stuff to doing almost nothing, that is because I learned to shut off the noise. So for example, if I go and meet somebody and I'm doing that whole no talk method or whatever I was saying, like it's not really a method, but just me not talking. When I talk about that, what I've done is I put myself in a completely present state and I'm not wasting energy. I'm not leaking mental energy or resources. So my eye contact is completely and utterly dialed in. And that is really what comes down to what you call mental strength. Marczell teaches that within the context of trance states. And I would say that's a part of what you saw with that basketball shot right there.
You know, the biggest thing is just to expand on what you're saying, you're in constant trance. There's always things that are going to take your focus. Now, if you're not sharp enough to be aware and you're not able to control your mind, then what's going to end up happening is you're going to sit there and instead of being present and talking to your friends or getting value or thinking or being able to unstifle yourself, you're going to be in a pattern of, oh, this is why I can't go up to someone. This is why I can't talk to someone. I'm going to stifle myself. This is why I can't say this. This is why I can't do that. Because you're always in a trance. And by the way, if you're an entrepreneur, if you want to talk about the fastest way to go broke or handicap yourself, that's how. Get distracted by someone that you're dating. Get distracted by one of your friends. Get offended by something else. Watch something in the news that's going to run your brain for the next 2 hours. Pick up your phone on TikTok and just stay on TikTok for 20 minutes instead of sleeping. And then that 20 minutes turns into 2 hours and now you have insomnia, right? All of this means you have no control of your mind. You know, I have to say, the number one thing I'll tell you with Owen is he has laser focus. I mean, laser focus. When I want something really bad, I can dial that in for probably especially if it's a seminar, I could dial it in for 3-4 days, 12 hours a day. But then I need to wind back, I need to relax. I never see you chill. I mean, you're never chilling.
That's what the Russian bond is for.
I went to sleep last night early, fixed my sleep schedule, 10:30, woke up at 4:30. I hit up Owen, he's up. I hit up Owen at 9 a.m., he's up. Hit up Owen at 3 p.m., he's up. I'm hitting up at 7 now, right, we're here, he's up. Does he look like he's tired? It's when do you sleep, bro? He's like, oh, I sleep.
Yeah,
when? You know? It's like you're walking.
I try to sleep as much as I can, but if I have to kick into that gear, I have the ability to do it. I'm a big believer in 8 hours sleep, but sometimes, I'm running a live event this weekend, so I don't have all the time that I need. So if that's the case, I can still just lock myself in and do it. See, the key with me is that I don't try more, I try less. So in other words, I work less mentally than 99.999% of people. So what I've done is I don't have wasted thoughts. Even I'm saying, even as I'm looking at some of this, I'm reading through some of the comments and there's some great comments in here, but some of the comments that you see is just my brain is just wow, how do you spend time thinking about this? And it's because I'm thinking to yourself, realistically, you want to make a couple $1 million. Realistically, you want to have social success. Realistically, you want to have a happy life. Realistically, you want to travel. Realistically, you want to live in a cool crib. Realistically, you want to be amazing. How can you do that when you're burning so much thought capital on crap? You can't. So the key to life is not learning how to work more. The key to life is learning how to work and think less, and then taking all of that mental resource and zoning it in on exactly what it is that you want. So, I would imagine somebody like Kobe Bryant or Stephen Curry, when they're doing what they're doing that by not wasting any energy at all. They're just completely locked in on the present moment, and there's no wasted movements, minimal wasted thoughts, minimal wasted energy. And then what that does is it draws in all the energy, and you'll feel different. So, for example, what Marczell's sitting beside me right now, you can't see this from home, but my voice is booming through the room. And my voice is doing that naturally, not because I'm trying to talk loud. I'm actually trying to talk less loud, but when I go into the zone, I get so much energy that it winds up it becomes like, I'm like a little bit of a higher pitched voice, obviously, but it's almost like Thor talking when you see me in real life. The mic caps it, sadly, but my voice is just boom, 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 boom. And you can imagine how it increases your results in public speaking in the club and things like that. And everyone's like, well, what's the technique? And look, I've coached with Roger Love, and he's amazing, but it's also energy management. How are you going to come up with that multi-million-dollar business idea? Energy management. How will you have endless motivation to do what you need to do? Energy management. So much of that is a trance state, and then you compare that to the guy that lost an arm wrestling match and he's crying. You know, so on one hand, you have somebody that lost an arm wrestling match and is crying. On the other end of the continuum, you have our friend who shoved a needle through her hand and didn't cry at all. One person loses an arm wrestling match and cries, other shoves a needle through their hand and doesn't notice.
And both can do both, just so you know. Like, both can have both reactions. I could have made him have a needle through his hand, not feel it. I could have made her cry. It literally can be both. It's not like just one or the other. So for those of you who are in the polar opposite end of where you want to be, you can quickly, and I mean, it's so ridiculous how fast it can happen. You can quickly go into a trance. Like, you know this. If someone goes to momentum, like Owen and I will hang out with people, we'll socialize with them who will have absolutely no momentum. They're totally in the wrong place. And out of nowhere, there's just one moment where they interact with someone and it went really, really well for them. And it clicks. And now you're seeing a different person. You see their facial expressions change. All of a sudden they're smiling, they're laughing, they're open. Whereas before they were like, and totally not charming. So it's interesting how quickly you can do it.
And it's because they got acceptance from one person. They got validation from one person.
So they put a different trance.
Yeah, different trance state. They stop questioning themselves because now they feel accepted. And then they stop wasting energy worrying about acceptance.
Yep.
And then from there, it becomes an upward spiral. That's a lot of what we're trying to teach you, actually. Do we have another video that we should go into, or is that kind of what you want to show today?
I mean, the other ones are a little bit more, I don't know if you want to post that.
Are they? They're from your YouTube?
Yeah, but they're like extreme. Like walking up to people at the mall, who are in a trance.
Well, any that are go to his YouTube channel is, I guess, what I would say to you.
Like, there's some comments here that are saying like, oh, you know, like, okay, he's not the best.
Yeah, go to the channel. Just check it out.
Just, yeah, all I can say is, let me see another hypnotist do that.
Yeah, go to the channel.
Go do it.
Yeah, but also the more important component is the mental leaking, okay? So in other words, if that's where your focus is, if that's what you're looping on, like, here's what I loop on day to day. Well, some of it's a little bit weird, like it's my spiritual beliefs. So a lot of it is my spiritual beliefs, just looping over and over and over, combined with how to make cash, combined with how to go travel, combined with how to meet the people I want to meet, date the people that I want to date, go to where I want to go, and have fun and laugh. That's basically my mental loop. It's just basically dating, fun, money, having fun, doing cool stuff, spiritual beliefs, food, and finding more ways to do all of that. Like, literally, that's where my headspace is. Anything other than that, I view as a virus and as an invader. Anything other than those things. So when I'm watching most people that are having like, you know, you walk down the street and, you know, this morning I saw somebody was on their bike and they're yelling at someone who they thought drove too near them and they're freaking out and they're having pain body attacks. I just view that as total mental weakness. In other words, mental strength, like here's an example. A big component of attraction, a major component of attraction is whatever you rate yourself in your mind and you truly believe that in your mind is what other people sense from you. So if you believe that you're a 9 or a 10 in your mind, other people sense that from you and they view you as a 9 or a 10. Now I realize that flies in the face of a lot of people's opinions. I'm happy to go out with anybody and show them how this works. So when I go out, I'm a regular person. I go out, I believe I'm a 9 or a 10 or whatever it is that I believe in that moment. And the responses that I get are like I'm a 9 or a 10. So that is a mental trance. So then people will say, well, I feel like I'm a 4 or 5. How do I just make myself believe I'm a 9 or a 10? And I'm like, you know, to be honest, I just think you're weak. Like, you're just mentally weak. Like, you probably also look at pop culture. You probably also put poison in yourself. You probably also waste time. You probably also gossip, and so on and so forth. That's mental weakness. Mental strength is knowing the 4 or 5 things that actually help you and then zoning in. Now, part of that is spiritual and spiritual bondage. I'll get into that in other videos, maybe a touch today. But like I said, a lot of this is trance. So how do things like trance, like work that you do, help people to kind of zone in on just the things that matter, or seeing resources, or seeing opportunities? And by the way, talking about an opportunity, if you're just logging on now, a lot of new people logging on, click that link right there that you see in the on the whiteboard or in this link that you see below, www.endlessmotivation.com. If you like what you're learning here and you want to interact with me and Marczell personally, we're doing the best session on Sunday. We're going to tag team it. It's going to be so sick. You know, if you sign up later, you can always catch the replay, but I would love for you to sign up right now and actually interact with us in person now. So click that link, and we're going to get you on that Sunday session. And as soon as you click it, you get access to the course curriculum. It's going to be a lot of fun. But anyway, how would you say that trance states allows people to see opportunity and to lock in on what's important, kind of the work that you do?
So the only difference between what I do and what most people are exposed to is that most people are walking around in a trance, and everything around you is influencing you, hypnotizing you, priming you. They did a study where they had they did it with 100 people, and they would ask all of them to read out this piece of paper and then give an opinion. And the only variable was that someone would either give them a cold cup of coffee or a warm cup of coffee. And people who had the cold cup of coffee 30 minutes before getting this thing would say that the piece of paper, the main character, was cold, not sweet, like not nice. And the warm cup of coffee, most people, 90%, said that it was very loving, very sweet, and awesome. So that little thing, something that small, had such a big impact on their perception of just the story and the rest of their day that I almost encourage you to think, like, when you wake up and you're around someone miserable, or you watch something not good, or whatever it is that you do, I don't know your routine, how does it affect the rest of your day? Like, when I wake up, my mind is like, how do I make more money? How do I get better? How do I get more confident? How do I do this? And I'm putting myself in a trance. Like, I don't want to wake up when the alarm goes off. I don't feel good. And I'm like, I'm not going to listen to that. I'm just going to get into a trance where I'm excited to get up. Like, when you're younger, I don't know if you've ever been on field trips. They're like, hey, go to Disneyland. Normally I want to sleep in, and finally I can't wait to get up. I can't even fall asleep at night because I'm so excited for Disneyland. So, like, what if I can get myself in that state? I know you're in this state all the time, to where I'm excited about my life. And if you're not excited, or you're not excited about where you're going, well, then you're constantly being influenced by other things, and it's not even the mental bandwidth or expending your energy. It's like, it's below that. You can't even control what your mind's on. You can't control where the energy is going. You can't control where your thoughts are, because you're not even at the paradigm where you understand why you think the way you think. Like, if you don't even know why you think the way you think, how are you going to change it? And if you're not going to admit that you think a certain way, how are you going to change it? Like, the way I look at it is simple. If there's someone who's more successful than you in something, and there's always going to be someone who is more successful, there's a gap. Obviously, they see something you don't see because you are stuck in a way of thinking. And obviously, and you could say it's because they're lucky. Like, someone commented here saying it's genetic. You mean that the person grew up with their parents and emulated their behavior.
Well, by the way, if there's ever somebody in the comments who's like, no, I couldn't do this, shoot me a DM if you're ever willing to go on video, and we will take you out to a bar or club and show you a couple things if you'd be down to go on video. And basically the video would be, you'd meet up with us, and you'd be like, no, I don't think this can happen. And then we'll take you out, and then we just want to interview you after. It'd just be a lot of fun for everybody. I would be super duper down to do that. I actually love helping. I'll tell you why. So I'm a Christian, and a big part of Christianity is helping people that are possessed by Satan. And so in my mind, you don't need to agree with me on this, but in my mind, when somebody says that, they are satanically possessed. That's what I believe. That's my spiritual beliefs. You can have your own beliefs. Those are my beliefs. So the big thing that I like to do is to take the demon off of you. I believe that a demon is infecting your head, okay? We will do another live someday where I will explain my beliefs on this, why I believe this, and I'll show the mechanism that I believe is at work when you do this and how you invite this into yourself. Marczell probably sees it a little bit more through a secular lens, through basically, like how would you see, like what I would see spiritually as a demon, what do you see when you see somebody who has deep rooted limiting beliefs, cannot see beyond their limiting beliefs, and also probably resonates with negativity, like can't see past anything negative?
And this is going to sound crazy, but it's true. I see a walking meat sack with programs that I could just go and change it any way I want, the same way their phone can, the same way anyone who judges them can. Like, go on some famous Instagram person's Instagram and leave one bad comment out of 20,000. Let me see if your comment stays or if you're not blocked. Why does that get a reaction? Tell me why that can capture someone's attention. Because people resonate with that. They literally resonate with it. It's like, why is that capturing my attention? The same way, you're talking about a demon, by the way, my perspective on that, like an exorcism, is not that it's actually a demon. there's something called a deep trance identification. It's the deepest thing you can do in hypnosis. Like if someone's at the deepest state, it's called somnambulism, that's the only time you can create this phenomenon. Like when I make someone you, well, someone who's in church or in any religion, they're not going to be opposed to accepting the suggestions. So if you've ever seen like a faith healer, or you ever see like a priest going like this and people fall, like Benny Hinn was the most famous one ever.
Can we load that up, a video of people all falling down?
Yeah.
Because by the way, while I'm Christian, I actually believe the same thing. I'm not necessarily a believer in exorcisms or faith healings or things like that. What I believe in is a very different mechanism of how this works, but we'll get into that in another video. So that backlog that I recorded out of nature for about 2-3 years, I actually break this down bit by bit by bit by bit. It's scary what I've seen happen to people, and it's scary how I think this works. But can you give them the name of the video to look up?
Look up Benny Hinn. Benny Hinn.
You got to give them spelling.
B-E-N-I, you'll just see it pop up. Look, Benny Hinn, and then
H. No, H? No, he's putting in Mark.
Benny, and then Hinn, H-I-N-N. Just, look it up. And then scroll down a bit, you'll see it.
Scroll down, please.
Yeah, right there. Click on that video. Right
Up. Tell them the title.
Yeah, right there. That one. Down. Yeah, that one. Click on that one. And just literally look. I mean, this is him.
I just like the look of him. And he's in a white shirt like us today.
So it's funny. He's born.
Can we let the audio go or no?
Yeah.
Or where's the part where everybody gets blown over though? We need to give it time
Look,
to
you're
go.
gonna see the whole
But when
thing.
the Lord talks to me, I obey him. It's just that simple. There's nothing more to it.
See, it's the Lord himself. Look at this.
Are you ready, guys?
Jacket, bro. His jacket's knocking down.
Take that on it!
No taxes, private jets, made hundreds of millions of dollars off of just hypnotizing people.
Take the fresh breath of the Spirit!
In the world. Oh my God.
I mean, that's.
Oh, that's great.
I mean, and people are like, "Oh, that's God." That did.
Yeah. Now, my view of Christianity, by the way, is things like this that block people from God. So basically, Marczell sees this. He's like, there's no way I believe in this. And it was actually, I would see things like this for many, many years, so I would never read the Bible. And the way that if I was to sit there reading the Bible with you, you would break down in tears, you'd start shaking, and you'd reconsider your whole life. You will see it. But it has to be through a certain interpretation, because you're seeing it at the surface level. No. I'll quiz you on this later. We'll do a quiz on this later, okay? Okay, so the Bible is basically, I view it as like the most advanced text I've ever read, and that's why I chew on it so much. But what I see there is probably very different than what other people are seeing. So what those people are seeing is just like, and they're just kind of like looking for an easy way out. It's this kind of thing in like, flyover country that happens. It just is what it is.
Darren Brown has a video on YouTube where he takes like 15 or 20 people who are atheists.
Can we skim through that one too? Can we catch the high points of that? Because we can't play it too long or we get a copyright strike.
So just look up Darren Brown.
Okay.
Converting atheists.
By the way, there's Benny Hinn Street Fighter. Somebody said there's apparently something funny. We'll look that up later, but okay.
Yeah, so pretty much Darren Brown takes the room of all these regular people.
Yeah, we need to give him a specific thing. Oh, yeah. Keep going, Ibrahim.
Converts atheists. I mean, I don't know the exact title. Oh, that one, top one.
Perfect. So guys, just as a heads up, anytime that we show these videos on YouTube, there's a risk of a copyright strike that the live will shut down. If it does, it was good to see you, and we'll just wrap up because it'll still actually post this video. It just will cut it.
Got it.
But it just kind of ends it. So if it ends now, it was good to see you guys. I'll see you inside of Endless Motivation Blueprint, which is going to be coming up this Sunday. And click that link below if you want to get in it. And then otherwise, we'll go a little bit longer if we have the opportunity. But let's see.
Fast forward a bit.
Let's see. How far through the video would it be?
I mean, it's a 12-minute, so 11-minute video. So just fast forward to the half.
Click around a little bit, Ibrahim, maybe halfway. We're going to have to click through this because if we play too long, it's going to get a strike.
Yeah, go like a little bit more.
A little more.
Right, just right there.
Guys, we're going to kind of flip through this so we don't get a strike.
These are all atheists, right?
Okay.
That are now no longer atheists.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see.
Trying to prove the point.
She's talking about.
Wait.
Some of the people have left because they were uncomfortable with the instant conversion. And I'm just going to go back in a minute and see if anyone's left, because I want to carry on. I want to see if I can do this. But for the moment, it's a bit of drama. We had a bit of an interruption there because I think some people got a little bit uncomfortable with that.
Fast forward, yeah, right there. Maybe. Rewind like 30 seconds. More, right there. Okay, cool. Look at this.
Keep driving that.
Here, actually, rewind 20 seconds. I would explain what just happened. Rewind what just happened. Because what? It's
Take
just.
it off this now because we're gonna get this right.
Oh, really?
Take it off. Take it off. Okay, come back to us. Okay.
Okay. Anyway, so what he does there, because I do this all the time,
Okay.
is when I first watched it, and I wasn't a good hypnotist, I would watch that and I'm like, how did he just pull some guy and he fell? He didn't even touch him. If you watch it again, you'll see him say, hey, look, in a moment, just let whatever happens, I'm going to catch you, which infers what? That you're going to fall and you're going to fall backwards. Plus, every single person in that room just all of a sudden became religious. And he does the opposite, where he takes someone who's not religious and he makes them atheist. So the reason I bring that up is because it's such your beliefs, like religion is supposed to be like an identity belief. It's supposed to be the most hardcore belief someone has. And someone could just change it. So if you could change that, you're telling me you can't change your confidence, you can't change your biggest fear, we can't get rid of it? Of course we can. Owen literally, I always tell Owen's one of the best hypnotists in the world, and he doesn't even know he's doing it. So I always tell you that, but he doesn't see it from that lens, but it really, I've seen him change so many people's lives, thousands of people's lives. And I've gone to events and I've seen people work who they don't walk the walk, they just talk, they can't actually do it. They pretend like they can, and you'll never actually see them do an intervention or call someone up or truly go out in the field and perform, not just for themselves, but for other people. Owen does it. And that's
been my passion the whole time. Like the whole reason that, the whole reason that I did this job, if you guys want to know, like I'm 43 now, I've been doing it since I'm 22, is I'm an adrenaline junkie. So I like the adrenaline that I get from, when I would do, for example, my old school style trainings and people come out and I've got to perform on command. I like doing a free event for 500 people and literally I have nothing prepared at all and I have to do an improvised speech and I do it without even using speakers and seeing if my voice can get over the entire crowd. Like I do this because I'm an adrenaline junkie. The past couple of years we started shooting videos in Montana while grizzly bears would walk by that could kill you and we'd have bear spray. I'm just an adrenaline junkie. So I love doing real interventions with people and kind of putting it on the line and seeing what kind of changes that we can make. And I actually get a weird thrill. So I'll tell you, this is a little bit of a side tangent, but I'll tell you something funny, okay? What they would teach you in business is that you have something called lead customers. And these are basically people that are so deeply entrenched in limiting beliefs and negativity that not only are they never going to change, like there's some clients who not only are they not going to change, then they're going to refund you. And then after they refund you, then they're going to go start a blog or a video about what a bad experience they had. Like not going to change, refund you, right? Start a blog. They teach you in business, don't deal with people like this because it's a complete waste of your time. They're going to burn down your time, burn down your energy. I've got great marketing consultants, great people who I work with in marketing and pay a lot of money. And they're like, bro, just go for very, very wealthy clients. The converse of this is with wealthy clients, you could be making, say, $25K an hour, and the client will forget to show up for the call. And you feel guilty because you just got paid $25K. I know why you're laughing because this happens a lot. And I yell at my $25K guys. I'm like, yo, please be on the call. And I give them a hard time about it. But the point is, rich people, it's sort of this is sort of a weird point, but it's kind of a chicken or the egg thing, right? Because part of why they wouldn't even care about, if they even miss the call, let alone whatever you do, they're going to be easily happy, is because they are rich, and for them, tens of thousands of dollars is like a penny. So that is part of why they wouldn't care. But that's a bit of a chicken or the egg thing, because the other thing is that they were always in abundance in the first place in some cases, right? So somebody who's kind of chill and naturally happy and naturally grateful, they live in a state of gratitude, they live in a state of abundance, they are easier to deal with. Somebody who is open-minded, and that open-mindedness is what allowed them to build a huge company, that's a good thing. Somebody who's hyper negative, hyper limiting beliefs, hyper transactional, they're going to be the most difficult person to deal with, and oftentimes they're broke. Okay, so there's actually a meme in personal growth where it says $50 client, and the email you get from a $50 client, and they're like, I've just sent you my $50. My life's about to change, and your life is definitely about to change. Because basically in exchange for $50, you've now let them into your ecosystem, and they're just gonna run it into the dirt making demands, right? Meanwhile, and then underneath it says, high-end client, and it's like, the money's in the account, kind of just like a laid back. I can't remember the exact
I have
meme.
real screenshots of these too. It's just like it's like funny. It's like someone who buys a $37 thing. For
Yeah,
me,
yeah,
like
yeah.
I don't care. I swear to God, if I never get a sale for $37 again, I don't care. Like don't even buy it. You know?
But the irony is that somebody who's like the $37 client literally thinks that you're saying that as like a neg trick on them, so that you're trying to get the $37 because they think $37 a lot, and that's their belief system. And you can't reach people like that.
I mean, it's like I've obviously spent more time focusing on the latter because I just realized you have more patience than I have, right? You have the patience. Like I have patience to work with people,
Yeah.
and I have free events, but they have to come from a grateful place. They have to be abundant. They have to be willing to change. For people who are just in a dark place, I can't stand them. Like I've kicked people out of my events who are like that. I just don't want them around me.
I like to go under the hood because I've always done this as like kind of a daredevil. And so, like for me, the way that I've done, like whether it's like the rawness of the content that I've done, I'm an adrenaline junkie. So I like to work with the most messed up person that I can find. So I kind of combine it. Like I work with high-end clients who are fun to work with, and they allow me to be able to afford to run the business so that I can do work with people that are deeply, deeply suffering.
And I saw a call with you and someone, and I was like, "Is that who I think it is?" And you're like, "Shh."
Yeah. I mean,
You know?
so I like to work with a range of people, and the kind of range of people that I like to work with is everything from the top of the top to the bottom of the bottom to people in between. And with Endless Motivation, for example, that's a program that we made that's a very, very high-end education that gives you direct access to me this Sunday, direct access to Marczell, www.endlessmotivationblueprint.com. And I like that. But the truth is, I want to work with every single type of person. So I'm the kind of person where if somebody is just in excruciating pain, I want to work with them. And I want to see if I can help them to change. That is something that fascinates me. But that's a spiritual component, which is that if somebody has a demon running them, your goal is to remove the demon. So I'm not seeing that as a professional work. I'm seeing that as a charity, and I'm trying to get the demon off of the person. Now, what I'd say to you is whether you believe in a demon or not, that's up to you. I don't really care. What you probably do believe in is that there's people that are deeply, deeply negative, people with very, very, very limiting beliefs, and people that are living in their own self-created hell. I think we can all agree on that, right? So if that's the case, you got to begin to look at to what extent are you making your own self-created hell? What is your own self-created hell? And what trance state are you in that makes that self-created hell? What would you say would be the trance state of a self-created hell versus a self-created heaven?
Yeah,
what would you say would be the difference?
Super simple. Okay, there's a formula. Like they call it an angel's cocktail. That's when you're happy, you're excited, you're grateful, you come from a place of motivation, you're hungry to make more, to be more. There's someone like that. You meet them when they have nothing. Invest in that relationship because they will be somebody and they're going to do it no matter what. You meet someone who's constantly a victim, constantly seeking pity, constantly angry at everything. Get out of my face, get away from me. That is toxic. It's like poison. It's like literally an emotional trance of poison. So people who are in a negative state, if you're constantly unhappy and that's become the norm for you and you feel dark inside, then maybe you should be around something that might bring the light out of you and show you what it's like, because I promise you, being happy not only creates more wealth. Like, people get it wrong. They think that making money is hard work. You're sacrificing everything. You have to be a horrible person.
Oh, so by the way that I do this,
Yeah.
So first of all, what you're saying about the poisonous person get away from me,
Yeah.
that's a generally smart move, okay? So the reason why I do, we'll call it meeting people at the club instead of just social circles. So to put in context, we're broadcasting this from a mansion in the Hollywood Hills right now. If I I am headed, we do parties up here in our Hollywood Hills mansion. Okay, if you see that balcony out there, there'll be a whole bunch of people out on the balcony, et cetera, et cetera. I've got lists of really attractive people who I invite up to my crib to do parties. Likewise, we are about to head to a white party at a very, very wealthy friend of mine's house in Venice. We're going to be doing that tonight. You're going to see it on Instagram if you watch us on Instagram. I have another invite to a party up the street, up the hill, with a couple buddies of mine, and that is also going to be filled with a bunch of models and very attractive people. So why is it that I go to a random bar or club rather than only meeting and dating through parties? I do that because I like the challenge of doing it from cold. Okay, I prefer to do it from cold. Why do I do a video in the middle of Montana instead of doing it from my house? Because I want the challenge. Why do I do improvisational public speaking when I could be doing it off of a script? and I do scripts sometimes, but 99% of the time I do improvisational at my free events? Well, because I like the challenge. Okay, so, you know, I used to do things like video blogs at the top of the Golden Gate Bridge, and I'd be sitting there without a jacket on, shivering, seeing if I could do it in the cold, or doing events on very, very low
I
slip.
saw that.
Yeah,
I'm like, why am I out here in misery?
yeah.
All this, like you brought up a bunch of people.
If you actually pull up, there's actually a video on RC Tyler. You'll see us up there doing that.
You're gonna find that
and
kind of funny.
I'm doing that in the. If you go to my channel, you can. I can direct you to the video. And funny enough, that video, as a side note, was a video about trance states. So actually, if you could just go down for me, go to full screen and go down for me.
Was that the first time I hypnotized someone to be?
Let me answer that question one second, because I just want to go down. Okay, slow down. Wait, stop. Stop. Why the world is going crazy. Right there. Why the world is going crazy. You'll see it. It's right there in front of you, my man.
Right there.
Yeah. Why the world is going crazy. So actually, if you look at that video there we shot in San Fran, what I'm going to do is run your mouse just over the little line. Back, forward. Okay, click there. Yeah, so press play. So you actually see me doing video blogs. If you can go back to me up at the top of the Golden Gate Bridge there, you'll see me doing video blogs up there. But we are actually doing video blogs up at the top of the Golden Gate Bridge. And you'll see I even bring out students from the seminar room, and it's freezing out, and I'm not even wearing a jacket, and I'm doing video blogs at the top of the Golden Gate Bridge. That's also, that video, it's a weird coincidence. That exact video, it says how the media lulls the masses into a low vibration daze and the tricks I use to counterbalance it. That's the name of the video. And just press play and you can sort of let it run there. But basically, okay, and then we'll stop now. So when I'm doing a video like that, and let's come back to us. When I'm doing a video like that, I'm doing that. Why am I dragging out a whole bunch of students up to the top of the Golden Gate Bridge on a super freezing San Francisco night and doing a video without a jacket? I'm showing them how I can do improvisational speaking while it's cold out with a ton of distraction. And I just want to be up at the Golden Gate Bridge because I just think it's fun. I think it's beautiful to go up there. So I also went up there for that reason, to give a special experience. I like to do things the hard way. But understand, let's be clear here. In the, quote, info marketing space, they tell you, just go for clients that are successful because they are hungry for change. They will change. The guys that are less successful, like think about it. The reason the person's successful in the first place is because they're open-minded, are in abundance, and live in a state of gratitude. Living in a state of gratitude and being, okay, you want to have a healthy dose of skepticism. We talk about that in a lot of videos. Skepticism is good. We talk about critical thinking and skepticism all the time. But you need to counterbalance that with another component also of open-mindedness. So somebody who's got, say, a $100 million company or a $1 billion company, they have a combination of skepticism and open-mindedness to new ideas. And they probably live in gratitude, I would hope, and they're probably in abundance. So from that standpoint, it makes them very, very easy to connect with them to produce a result. Somebody who is blocking out everything, they're doing that because they are in a state of defense. It's like a prickly porcupine, and so you're trying to touch this prickly porcupine. So when we're talking to you, what I would ask you is, are you that person who's easy to deal with and easy to help change, or are you that prickly porcupine? And, you know, when you see things like endless motivation, are you sitting there and you're saying, oh, I don't know, because you're the prickly porcupine, or can you be open-minded? Now, by the way, and you might find this interesting, I don't really show this in videos, but the way that I deal with people that are hyper-negative is actually, I understand that the only thing that they can process is negativity, so I'll start arguing with them, and then I'll start trash-talking people with them, and they're like, yeah, haha, yeah, this sucks, that sucks, this person sucks, that person sucks, ha 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 ha, like that, and I'll go there into that sick, twisted world with them, and then I use that within a context of pacing and leading, and then I let them burn themselves out through that, and then as I burn themselves out through that, then they go from this state of hyper prickliness into a state of more open-mindedness because I pace the reality. The challenge is that I can usually make the change at the time, but if I'm not there to help it stick, they'll start doing better, but then they often fall back unless they have ongoing coaching. That is the problem that I have seen. Yeah. But I still like to make that little ray of light. Point being to you is that you can live on a heaven on earth or a hell on earth, and so much of this is going to be based on the trance state that you're in. So yes, be skeptical of things. You should, some limiting beliefs are healthy. Some scarcity is a good idea, right? We come equipped with skepticism, scarcity, limiting beliefs for a reason, because there's periods in time where it does make sense to have those. But at the same time, you also have to know how to unlock those. And that's so much of what you're doing is you're trying to break that trance. Like, what would you describe as the trance that you're trying to put somebody in to get them into the most resourceful state humanly possible? And then how would you contrast that with the trance that the average person in the mainstream has been programmed by?
Yeah, so the main name for it is a peak state, right? So you're in a peak state because you're in a state that where your peak is, hey, here's what I could do. You're in flow, you're not in your own head, you're able to be outside of your mind. The problem is when you're in a peak state, you're so present, you actually create amnesia. So you actually forget what it felt like. You really forget what you were saying, maybe what you were doing to get into that state. And I think the default setting people have is the opposite. The default setting is scarcity, focusing on themselves, selfishness. You know, how do I only think about me? Like, okay, I'll give you an example. I went to a party with a bunch of friends. And one day I said, my friend's like, hey, you know what? I'll take the lead. I'll take us in. And I think like out of 15 of us, 2 of us didn't get in. And he still went in. I said, I'm not going in. Like, that's not how you lead. You got to either everyone goes in or nobody goes in. Yeah, that's how it is. But they were selfish. But you now look at the difference where both of us were starting our businesses at the same time. He's way behind. I mean, he's still in the same position he was there because he's thinking about himself. I believe if you truly want to succeed or you want to win in any area, you want to offer value, right? We always hear that in business, offer value. To offer value, you can't be selfish. To be in a proper relationship, you have to be valuable, which means you're offering some sort of value. And you're not going to increase your value both in the marketplace, in your social life, or any of that if you are in this let me think about me state. If you start thinking about how I can serve other people, and I don't mean be a pushover, I mean you have boundaries, but you come from a place of I know what I have to offer and I'm going to offer it to people, then I think that's the trance I try to get them into. Show people what their value is, or if they're lacking the value, how you work on it. Like a lot of people would choose to accept that they are where they are, they can't go improve their skills. Like you're kind of forced to go to college, you're forced to go to school, and then you're like, well, this is my skill set. Why wouldn't you want to work on more skills? Why wouldn't you want to develop skills that are, like, I think there are some skills that are a shortcut to everything else. So you could spend time learning, reading, doing all this, or you could just be in a confident state. And that confident state lets you learn things like what most people might learn in a decade or never, you can learn in an hour because you're in the right state to receive it.
Yeah, this is what freaked me out was Marczell would put people into trance to believe they're me at a seminar, and then people who are struggling with public speaking, who I was mechanically showing step by step how to change their communication, which is great work, but Marczell would put them in a trance state, and then they would believe they're me and jump up on stage, and their voice would be like me, and they would act like me. I don't necessarily think that
sit like you.
Yeah. It's like I don't necessarily think that that's like the best approach to say, like, you're Owen now, you've got to be you. So he would normally do trance states to focus on you being the best version of you, but as a joke, he was showing how people could just hop up and believe they're me. And when you see them doing that, and when you consider that you have somebody who is deeply afraid of public speaking or has major social anxiety.
Biggest fear for actually Caucasian individuals in the world. Public speaking is the #1 fear for Caucasians.
Wow, okay. So from that standpoint, and what is it that you think, why is it that you can put somebody into a trance to believe that they're me and then just jump up and crush public speaking?
Because it's not hard. Like that's the biggest, like I guess you could say that's the mental barrier to comprehend this, is that how long did that take?
It was 2 minutes or something?
Yeah, so it's not hard to make a change. The problem is you are always changing, you just aren't aware of your changes. Like they weren't aware that I made them Owen until afterwards.
Do we have any videos of that or on your phone or something?
I mean, I have videos of them being me. I have like a whole bunch of people in my seminar.
Yeah.
This is it back in 2019.
Yeah,
2019. Yeah, I mean, I could pull it up if you want, but it's literally them being me, and it's hysterical. It's the same time
Can you put that on the computer for Ibrahim?
It's stories. It's archive. It's not
got it. Okay, well, we'll say that for another time then. But I'd say, okay, look, if you know what we'll do, we will dig up some of this stuff to show on the Endless Motivation Blueprint this Sunday. Yep. So for everybody that signed up, if you signed up, again, if you're just catching this, everybody jump in live, www.endlessmotivationblueprint.com. Marcell's going to be the guest this weekend. I will be there as well. We're going to be tag teaming it just like we're doing here, but the difference is we're going to be interacting with you personally and actually having a conversation with you. So right now, while it's on your mind, jump into www.endlessmotivationblueprint.com. We're going to get you to get in there right now. What's going to wind up happening is you're going to start going through the course curriculum. You're going to get primed. And then what's going to happen is on Sunday, we're going to be chatting with you in person. Here, we're kind of trying to hype you up, give good energy. There, we're going to be doing a very, very deep dive into the specifics. So if you want to make more cash, if you want to get better socially, if you want to be more spiritually tapped in, if you want to be on your purpose, if you want to travel more, live in better places, create a better life, and you want to find the drive and focus to attune your mind to be in that state, we also give a lot of practical tips there because, you know, I can't help it. And if you want us to also go a little bit more raw, then we would say go here. And because we're going to be doing it in our own private group, then press that link below, www.endlessmotivation.com. We will see you in there. We'll be doing some of that work on you. Marcel will be doing some hypnosis on you. I'll be taking you through different exercises. We'll both be doing Q&A with you. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a very exclusive event. Click that link below and start going through the course curriculum. It was great to have you on. Thank you for being here. We are headed out to the white party at our buddy's house now. Check us out on Instagram. We'll post some stories, maybe do a little bit of live from Instagram over there. And we're excited to be talking to you more. Thank you very, very much for being here. This wraps up Marcel's third appearance on the channel for this week as the guest this week. So thanks for being here, bro.
Thank you, bro.
A lot of fun. I hope that it opened up your mind a little bit. Maybe you came on in the first one. You're like, you know, what's Marcel all about? And just been showing you a little bit more. Make sure that you check out his channel as well. You're going to learn a ton more. There's a lot of stuff there that I wouldn't even post here on mine. And he has the courage to post over there. So you're going to want to go and check that out.
Actually live. This was actually live. Yep. So, you know, for those of you, by the way, watching later on past Sunday, I would still click that link right there. Check it out.
Yeah, the recording will be on.
Yep. So make sure you do that. And we'll see you later. Thanks for having me on, bro.
Thank you, bro.
Yep.
See you guys soon. Peace.